It's Friday, November 22nd. You're listening to Your Florida Daily. I'm Katrina Scales. A shakeup in President-elect Donald Trump's transition team, his top choice for Attorney General Matt Gaetz, drops out of the running just one day after appearing on Capitol Hill. And now the president-elect is turning to another familiar face in the Sunshine State to fill that role, former Florida State Attorney General Pam Bondi. CBS News is reporting that at least 8 Republican senators had planned to vote against confirming the former congressman. Gaetz withdrew his name from consideration amid a federal investigation into sex trafficking allegations and a House ethics investigation into accusations that he had sex with a 17-year-old girl. Gaetz has denied any wrongdoing and said this week that these allegations are a distraction to the incoming Trump administration. Bondi has been an outspoken defender of former President Trump. She became Florida's first female attorney general in 2010, where she served for 8 years.
When a deputy dies, a piece of the community dies with them. It's tough.
Tragedy in South Florida after 2 deputies are killed and another is seriously hurt in a crash investigators are calling simply horrific. The deputies had just finished a traffic stop along a busy road when one of them couldn't get his bike started. When the 2 others came to help him move the bike off the road, investigators say a woman driving an SUV veered off the road while trying to get around another vehicle and slammed into all 3 deputies. They were all transported to the hospital, where 2 were pronounced dead. The 3rd went into surgery and is now in the ICU. One of the deputies that died had been in law enforcement for nearly 40 years. The sheriff expects funerals to be held sometime next week. The crash is still under investigation, but at this point, the driver who hit the deputies is not facing any charges. And by planes, trains, and automobiles, millions are set to travel over the next week and a half for Thanksgiving. In Florida alone, AAA predicts over 4.5 million people will be heading 50 or more miles from home for the holiday. That's an all-time high, an increase of more than 100,000 from last year. And with so many drivers on the road, safety is the biggest concern. Find these top stories along with breaking news, weather, and traffic all day on clickorlando.com. And now, a completely random Florida fact. The State Archives of Florida has on file pretty much every bill ever introduced in the state legislature since its establishment in 1969. But there's one bill out of tens of thousands that ponders the existence of one of Florida's most infamous cryptid creatures, the Florida skunk ape. This bill would have made it a misdemeanor to capture, injure, or otherwise bother a skunk ape if you ever crossed paths with one. A short transcript from discussion of the bill centers mainly on the problem of identifying a skunk ape. And it's worth noting that this bill never passed, so the question remains open. Your Florida Daily is produced by News 6, WKMG in Orlando. I'm Katrina Scales. Subscribe for new episodes wherever you like to listen.